Welcome back to the Credit Gal Show, your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm your host, Darbe Nokes, and I'm here with Arif Halaby with Total Financial Solutions. And we were just talking on the commercial break about all the wonderful educational forums that you are doing out there. And I want you to explain your Lunch and Learn programs.
Well, we'll often go to companies where we might have a relationship, so we could know or have the HR director be a client. Mm-hmm. And we'll sit down and usually we'll give them a survey and say, what are your top concerns? And they'll go through, getting out of debt or life insurance or retirement. And then we'll compile that and it will determine which one we use. Maybe the first one, maybe it's the only one. Sometimes we might do one a year, and some companies like us to come back every month or every other month. So we'll go in and we'll take a complicated topic and we make it very simple. Because retirement is really the crux of what we do with the things that circulate around it, debt being one of those, especially today where parents and grandparents are taking on student loan debt for their children and grandchildren, that we're starting to see a lot of that bleed into retirement, and it affects them. Come on, you guys, really? You think getting a degree in art history of 18th century Guam, that's going to matter to any? Look, if it's your money, spend it. Spend it. I don't care. Go buy whatever you want. But if you're going to take out loans or require your parents or grandparents to reduce their lifestyle in retirement, that's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, and it's happening. It's a famine. Truly, these student loans are just a famine out there, and hopefully our government is going to step in. I know they've made some considerations about, forgiving some of those.
They need to stop student. Look, I'm going to get on my stop student loans. You get no more than $10,000. Period. Figure out the rest. Universities that are perpetual construction machines. Go by any university, especially public universities. I used to work around UCLA. They've been doing construction since I attended UCLA in 1980, whatever.
It's true.
These people, what are they doing? Oh, well, that's a different budget. Well, really? So the money from your left pocket is different than your right?
They're just continue doing the same thing. So you go in, but you had mentioned on the break about the 401k.
Yeah. Okay, look, so retirement plans used to be very different. 403b, 401k. Think of it like this, guys. If you go to the IRS code of 401 subsection K, it says if you work for a for-profit company, you can put money in a retirement account. Don't pay taxes now. When you take it out, you do. And on all the interest.
That's pretty simple.
A few years later, teachers, educators, nurses, hospital workers, nonprofits said, we want one. They said, great, that's called a 403b. So if you work for a hospital or a school system or nonprofit, you can start an account where you put money in, you don't pay taxes on it until you take it out. A few years go by and city, county, state workers said, we want one. So now it's something called a 457. That's also known as a deferred comp. Now, by the way, the educators is also known as a TSA, or tax sheltered annuity. Same thing as a 403b. All right. So enough with the numbers. Think of this. These accounts now are very similar. They used to have all different rules, and now they've kind of blended together. And the companies that you work for, if there is a retirement account, I don't care which one of those three that I mentioned, and there's others as well, any retirement account, they are required to provide a level of financial education or financial literacy. Now, it can be co-opted by the company that you do your retirement account through. Mm-hmm. So in other words, if you work with some of the big mutual fund companies or with companies like ours, we can take that responsibility. You can take that responsibility as long as it meets the IRS guidelines, which is very easy to find out what those are. Because people have put money in, they go to work, they work hard, and they wake up, and then poof, in retirement, they either have credit card debt or they don't. They either have a bunch of money in the retirement account or they don't. And they look around and they're 55, 60, 65, 70, and they go, I thought I was supposed to be a millionaire at 65. What happened?
Yeah, where are the numbers? They're just not educated. You're right.
That's
so
right.
Before we break for the afternoon, I want to mention, we have a Youth Financial Literacy Foundation. It's called the YFL, and we educate youth between 8 and 18 years old on personal finance. So hopefully by the time they got to that corporation and got that job, they would already been educated, right? They didn't need to really take that course.
Nice.
And we are able to go into classrooms around around the country and able to offer grade schools and middle schools $500 if they go through the in-home program, an 8-week program, and a pizza party. So to help educate.
So you come to a school or a school district?
We come to a school district or a school, a principal as well.
And you say, we have this program.
Yes.
And if the kids participate in the program.
Just participate. There's no test.
And at the end, there will be
$500 per classroom is given for 30 books, workbooks with the mint.com, given out. And look, I always look at it this way. If they will learn one thing, those children from home, they know one more thing that it didn't know yesterday.
Big changes, you guys, come into the credit world, and it's getting more complicated. And so appreciate you listening. Thanks for having me.
You know, it's just been such a pleasure having you on the show today and learning about retirement and credit, and I'm going to go on a trip soon and how many credit cards I should take.
That's right.
And, you know, everything about protecting your family and your credit and your finances and your future.
Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Darbe Nokes, the Credit Gal, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.